and Ends podcast.
3, 2, 1, and Paul and Ants here in the
really
house.
Jumping right into it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Why did they? So you're in a band.
Yes.
I noticed that some singers really,
Yes.
really hold the microphone close to the lips.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a particular reason? Like they're basically putting the thing in their mouths.
Yes.
I probably did a really hard pee there.
It's part. I'm sorry.
I'm feeling like I'm doing hard peas.
Hard peas.
Hard peas. You have to look out for the hard peas.
Hard peas.
It's a thing you have to look out for.
We're really starting off.
What are you talking about? It's like a classic like microphone etiquette thing.
I don't know any microphone etiquette. Have you heard me talk on this podcast? I don't know any microphone etiquette.
Well, no. Like not. Like, well,
Constantly breathing heavy into the mic.
If you have a hard pee, it means you
But we have
pushed
the,
out
we have the guards, don't we?
Right. I don't have them on mine.
You
right
don't
now.
have. Oh.
Yeah.
Geez.
So maybe they're registering those hard peas.
Oh, I know. All those hard peas are really.
Folks, if you
Hard
want to
peeing.
comment on my hard peas, feel free to do so.
With the hashtag Paul's
Hard peas.
Let's
Yeah.
move on. Or start it.
I remember Scott Stapp from Creed. Like he could really nosh on that
Wait.
thing.
1 second. You remember Scott?
Who does
from
not?
Creed?
Who doesn't remember Scott
I'm sorry.
Stapp?
That sounded mean.
How terrible of you.
I'm sorry. I hope they do well. I have nothing. I
mean, I don't think you can. Like, I think present tense is you know. I hope they do well. They did well, and now
I hope they did well. Hey man, I've always thought if you even are popular for one album or like one month, if you get 15 minutes of fame, that's pretty incredible.
Yeah,
I think that we, especially nowadays, we look at like this person faded, that person faded. To be popular for a month is like huge.
Yeah, we were just talking about that. I hate seeing those lists, those tabloid lists on the internet where like 13 celebrities who are no longer famous. And we were talking about a few that we knew of, like Rick Moranis, who decided to leave. He's a popular comedy actor, Spaceballs,
yes.
and Honey, I Shrunk the Kids,
and Honey, I Blew Up the Kids, the more artful sequel.
Right? Yes. Oh, and isn't it Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves? Too.
Was he in that one?
Yes.
Or was that one of those like prequel ones?
Ooh, wait, actually, I don't know if it. I think he was in that one. I'm pretty sure. Maybe that was his last.
I'm actually
movie.
going to guess not.
Okay.
I feel like we would know it as the Honey I Shrunk trilogy, but I think it's the Dumb and Dumber of that series, where it's not canon,
right,
to the series.
Okay, we'll have to find that out.
Yeah,
Tune in next time.
Tune in next time for more inane chatter about the trilogy, but that's not what we're talking about today.
Well,
yeah. Oh, but go on.
No. Go on. You tell us what we're talking about today,
because we're trying to reduce the inane chatter.
Yes,
and bring in a few more important topics.
And
the topic I was thinking of today: has tech made us as a society more rude?
More rude.
Yes, because that's you'll always hear it. People are just so rude these days with their selfie sticks and their they're always taking selfies. They got their rap music player on. Okay, that's just a millennial thing, but like, there's always that thought in like comment sections too.
Yeah,
like bring out the worst in people, and just tech has made us think less about the people around us. Do you think there's truth to that?
Well, I don't know if there's any truth without actually looking at the figures studies done or anything like that. So I wouldn't want to just completely spout nonsense. But
yeah, we did that for the first 5 minutes of this episode.
True. That's true. Fair point.
Mm-hmm.
But since we're actually talking about a meaty topic, not that Rick Moranis' biography isn't meaty.
No. It's 1,000 pages.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
I would love to see that. I would love to. What are you reading right now?
It's called Honey, You Gotta Shrink This Biography. It's the unabridged version.
Oh no, that was terrible.
That was awful.
That was great.
I hope we can edit that out.
No, we can't. No, but so just based on what I've seen, let's just do that. I would say yes. I would say that we are rude, more so because of we're maybe more disconnected from the personal interaction. I don't know. Like it's one of those things where I automatically think that I'm just spouting a bunch of BS. Whenever
I don't know
go
though.
There. It's like because I used to teach English like 111 like composition courses in college, and it's like one of those first lines that you would see in every semester you would see that first line that would begin so many papers. It would be like it would be the marijuana legalization paper, or it would be like the too much technology is causing problems paper. You know, that's something that I always saw every semester when I was teaching, and it was really interesting to me. It's like, oh, well, why is this a lazy writing topic? Mm-hmm. You know, why is that a default to say that, oh, technology sucks, we should start being more intimately connected with each other instead of like looking at our phones.
Right.
Like, yeah. So I mean, it just strikes me as one of those things where like technology is so broad, and when you say, "Oh, technology," it's sucking the life out of our, you know, like the life out of the hearth. You know, like the South Park episode, the TV's dead or the living room's dead or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, where did the living room go? I just think it's one of those. It feels intuitively true, but I mean, once again, technology is this broad statement, like. You know, this is broad word. I mean, like technology is everything. You know, everything we're in this room is technology. You know, everything we're wearing is technology. I mean, so you're basically talking about social media.
These Halloween socks that I'm wearing are definitely
that's
technology. Next generation. Technology.
It's true.
They're smart socks. Well, I mean, you got to look at the past, and like even when the telephone was invented, there was like pessimism about that.
Yeah,
we were like, why don't you just I remember talk radio was talking about it, and it was in that time the idea was, well, why don't you just write a letter? That's so much more personal.
Right.
This telephone is going to make us, you know, feel disconnected, and we're going to lose that, you know, nice writing a letter thing. And now, you know, things have gotten so much, it jumped so much more further. I'm not making good words today, but you know, now we can just do so much with our phones and whatnot.
It could be romanticism. I read this great essay. I think it was in like Harper's magazine. It's called Beeper World. It was by Kate. What was her name? She's a great essayist. I can't remember her name right now. But she was talking about growing up in the '90s and how beepers, you know, they were ubiquitous among like, you know, teens, like, you know, teens and like privileged teens, I guess we'll say. Like and everyone knew the beeper codes, of course, for like come over, you know, or like, you know, other things, you know, things that teenagers do.
Have you ever felt like an older man than saying
reefers
things that teenagers do? I've never felt like we were such old men. So.
Oh man,
I heard that and agreed.
That's great.
With
things
you.
that teenagers do.
Things that teachers do.
That teachers do.
It's a different one.
Yeah. But anyway, I mean, so you know, she was talking about there was like a kind of mystery and intimacy to sending those beeper codes back and forth because because they were so compressed. Language was like, you know, compressed into these like 3 or 4 figures, whatever it was, and you know. You like having to communicate back and forth like that and connect with people. It was just like different from like the instant transmission of thought, you know, that we have now. So yeah, I don't know.
I like the thought of that.
Yeah,
I mean, it's also weird that in this era, being a Luddite is like kind of cool. It's so, you know, just being so anti-technology is weirdly cool.
I think it was cool when the Luddites were doing it too, though.
Is it Luddite or Luddite?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure Luddites are like I think they, you know, I don't know. I can't I was gonna make some really bad joke about them
being offended,
being lewd. I don't know.
But they are known for being lewd.
It's a Friday afternoon,
yes,
people.
I know.
We are both ready to be done.
Yep, we're both. It's happy hour.
Checked out. But to answer your question, which is basically that whether technology good?
Yes.
Or bad.
Has it unlocked a certain rudeness? And my point of view, I think I don't know about rudeness, but pessimism. Just it seems like the world is more pessimistic now than ever, and I'm not sure if it's directly connected.
Maybe
to
that's
technology.
maybe that just means that you're more pessimistic than ever.
I don't know though. I feel like I see more pessimism. Because an optimist will still see pessimism.
Do you think optimists out there see more pessimism?
I think so. I mean,
optimistically, you wouldn't want to see that much pessimism. Optimistically, you want to see as little pessimism as possible.
But an optimist will still see. Now we're getting into this weird. See, it is Friday afternoon.
Yeah.
My point is, it just seems like, and I think social media you'll see it a lot. You know, how many positive posts do you think you see when you scroll?
I think I see
media?
way more positive posts.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Most posts are like, look at what I'm doing. I'm on vacation.
I guess
it's either political criticism or it's look at how happy I am. Mm-hmm. It's very rare that you see I'm depressed, the world sucks. And if it does, if you do see that, it doesn't get many reactions.
I don't know. I feel like I see that a good amount still.
Yeah.
And I feel like
maybe that's just your social circle, you know?
Yeah, I know. Maybe I need to
full of misanthropes. Your Facebook page.
That's what I've always said. There's my misanthropes. Glad to see you all.
Glad to see
my merry misanthropes.
My merry misanthropes.
The merry misanthropes would be a
great band name once again. Yeah. No, but I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
Is technology?
Well, I'm glad this topic was so meaty.
Well, I mean, when we bring up stuff like that, like I feel like that's one of those. It's like a bad interviewer question. If I were interviewing, some celebrity or something like that, and I asked them, "What do you think about technology? Is it good or bad, or is it making us feel like?" And I know yours is a little more nuanced than that, but like it's. I think you could kind of reduce it to that. Like, is technology overall producing a negative effect on humanity? Right, like on the way we are.
I mean, I don't think it's so much that. We know that it's been positive overall. We know that it's helpful and it's convenient and it really helps with a lot of things. I'm just talking on more of the social level.
Yeah.
Does it help with that? Because I remember, that is always like a topic throughout school and even one of my first writing jobs. Mm-hmm. It seemed like everything was talking about how technology is separating us and making us more isolated and kind of more depressed overall.
I have seen that. There have been a lot of studies done about the link between Facebook and depression, social media use and depression. However, there is a caveat there. They have shown that if you use Facebook actively, like you're not just passively scrolling and looking at what other people are doing, then you're okay.
Really?
Yeah, if you're contributing to the social media sphere, like if you're writing things, if you're posting things, regularly, you're fine. You're not going to be affected by the depression as much. However, if you're just looking at what other people are doing, that's when the depression starts to set in. So I don't know. I mean, I feel like, there are people out there who would claim that social media makes them, has connected them even more to the world, to their, to their friends. Like, for instance, we were looking at the Facebook, our old posts from I was looking at mine from 2009.
Yeah.
And, I remembered when I first got on Facebook and I was connecting with friends I hadn't spoken to, in years, or I was, getting details about their lives. I was, seeing who they were married to, whatever, so, that was cool. I mean, since then, I haven't spoken to them again.
Right.
But for a moment there, at least there was a connection made. So
yeah,
something.
I mean, also your very first status was a great joke.
Was it?
Remember, I think we read it.
I already forgot it. See, I forgot it again.
Okay, well, never mind.
Things just come out of me. I think I say things. I say things.
Doctor.
Do not remember them. I do not remember the things I say.
And I wake up in strange places with just somebody else's clothes.
Maybe I'm an alcoholic.
Okay, yeah. Well, I'm glad we got to the bottom of this. So technology is good, people.
Technology doesn't make me rude, but a couple bottles of
half
the old...
a quart of gin does.
Gin's a great thing to reference, for alcoholism. Oh no, let's not make alcoholism jokes.
Yeah, I know. Now it's getting into some strange places. I accidentally knocked over your wonderful.
My wife's wood burn etching of Trogdor.
Now,
the Burninator.
You listeners at home can't see it, but just imagine what it looks like.
They are
all right. There we go.
They are enthralled.
That's compelling radio. Now, did you have anything that you anything kind of from the tech world that you've been thinking about lately?
We wanted to talk about tech world and heavy topics. I kind of wanted to talk about Spiderman.
I actually do also want to talk about Spiderman. Well, I mean, that is a big, tech entertainment world. That is just pretty big.
Let's say that it is.
Yeah. No. I was just trying to, if you talk like it's important enough, then it kind of, it's like, Okay, yeah.
I mean, he kind of fits with it. Like I guess you could say that people interested in technology, like let's say nerds, like Spider-Man. Spider-Man is the original like nerdy superhero.
Well, he's maybe
He's a scientist.
Well, the problem is they have made him cooler over time.
Yeah,
that was kind of my problem with the Amazing Spider-Man. Was he was too cool and too good looking.
Yep.
Where it wasn't believable that he was like picked on.
Right.
He was just too cool.
And skateboarding.
I know, he skateboards.
For, like, underwear catalogs and whatnot.
That was a weird scene.
Spider-Man's
That's when he got bit by the spider. Was he was in the middle of a Calvin Klein shoot. And just, radioactive spider.
Yeah, great. What's funny about the Tobey Maguire one is that like I can't remember like the Amazing Spider-Man. I'm sorry, is just so forgettable that I can't even remember how he gets his powers in that movie.
It bites him on the wrist. I remember. No, the back of the neck.
Yeah, no, but what is the spider? Like, what's the deal with the spider?
They were at Oscorp. I don't know why I remember this because I think I've seen it twice overall. They were at Oscorp, which I think they were really trying to set up as like a major thing in that universe.
Right.
And Gwen Stacy was showing him around, even though they run in totally different social circles.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if that's going to create some tension later. And while he's there, they're showing off, oh, look at all these radioactive spiders. And I forget, I think one escapes, totally unlike the 2002 version, and then comes down and bites him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
the exact same thing.
Okay.
And Uncle Ben also...
I mean, so they can replicate Spider-Man.
Yeah. So they can just have a bunch of Spider-Men.
Yeah.
See, wouldn't that be better? Just Spider-Men? Have some Spider...
Well, they tried that in the 90s.
Oh, with the
Clone Saga.
That's right.
So, yeah.
Okay. Well, okay.
We'll get deep into that.
Wasn't the Clone Saga really messy?
My dad and I, my dad started reading comic books to me. I think I told you about this before.
Yeah.
This is how I learned to read, basically. My dad, would bring me comic books and stuff. And, it was a good time, I guess, to get started with that because that's when comic books were starting to transition into, like, catering more to adults, I feel like.
Right.
They actually, it probably traces back a little like farther than that, like to the late 70s, I guess you could probably say is when like comic books really started to pay more attention to like an older demographic. But in the 90s, like you did see like the comic books, start to get into some stranger territory, darker territory.
Right.
Spawn was really big at the time, and like the death of Superman was also a thing. Characters were given the Poochie treatment, revamped, made to look cool. I remember when, like, I don't know if you were, following that whole thing, but when Superman died in the 90s, it was a big marketing gimmick. It's a notorious marketing gimmick. Like, we're going to take a superhero who's gotten a little bit stale and who may not have like as much attention as he deserves, given how important he is for like the American comic book mythology. I mean, he is an icon. We're going to like take that character, remove him, make people want him again, and then we're going to give him like a redesign. Yeah. So they brought in Superboy at the time, who had like whose costume was like a leather jacket. Like a T-shirt with an S on it, and some jeans, and like everyone had loopy earrings. I feel like that was a thing. Like everyone had industrials and like loopy earrings. Like Storm would have. Well, in the 80s, she had like a mohawk and stuff like that.
Oh, she did, and I think they're redoing that in the like new movies.
Oh yeah,
too. They're like keeping that going.
Cool.
Or maybe not. Maybe I'm just
I mean, I kind of like that look. Stuff. I think it's cool.
Do you know what's weird? So much stuff got dark around that time. The one thing that went from dark to light was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
That's true.
Which started off as a kind of violent, like, parody of, like, Daredevil and all those kind of violent comics.
Yeah.
And then became this cartoonish thing where they're fighting, like, pizza monsters and, saying one-liners and whatnot.
Yeah.
Even though I loved that show. The 80s show.
Oh, yeah.
It was fantastic.
It went into the early 90s too, and that was when it got a little weird because I don't know if you remember this, but they would start to mutate again, like at weird times. You remember this?
Not
like
really.
This is later in the cartoon. Like they get the ability to like transform into like super hulkish like Ninja Turtles, and And yeah, it gets strange.
Yeah.
One of them like gets into another dimension. I feel like that's when those old cartoons would always take a bad turn, is when like someone gets lost in another dimension.
Well, it's when you lose that status quo. You know, the status quo for Ninja Turtles was they have the powers they have, and they save April from Shredder. Right. And it's in New York. Beautiful. They're not in some weird dimension.
Yeah.
Because I remember I was watching when I was a little bit younger, this weird like spin-off where they went to the future and they had like robot versions of their weapons, and there was a Robo Shredder, and it didn't feel right. They weren't in New York; they were in like New York.
Yeah, this is when series didn't understand the Spider-Man trick, which is to immediately reboot for a new audience.
Yeah, and then just do the exact same thing over and over.
Yeah. I mean, like, our viewers are aging, and they're tired of the same old thing.
Right.
Well, you could say we got to keep them glued to the screens. Let's try some weird stuff. Or you could say, well, forget them. Let's reboot the whole thing and get some new ones.
Exactly.
Let's make Aunt May hot. And,
which it's very talented Marissa Tomei.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Marissa Tomei.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anywho, now how do you think the Homecoming looks overall? I guess how do you think it will rank in the? Because I think we should do a quick ranking of every Spider-Man.
That's a good idea. Okay.
And then see how you believe it will rank.
Okay.
The problem is I have seen the Rotten Tomatoes, but as we've said, it's kind of subjective.
Rotten Tomatoes is not a good. Like, I mean, it's pretty good, but it's not the end all be all.
Bottom of the list.
Bottom of the
list.
Let's go
first. Bottom to top.
Okay, good. Okay.
What do you think is the absolute?
I mean, are we including cartoons?
No,
and
just live action.
Film? Okay, just live action film. What about live action series, TV show?
No, that
was kind of a movie, the '70s one. Yeah.
Let's not count that one.
All right,
fair enough.
Let's go. All right, so the answer is obvious to the bottom. I mean, it's Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yes,
Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Just way too much going on.
And then I would put after that Spider-Man 3.
Disagree.
Yeah, but Spider-Man 3 next to the bottom, and then after that I would put Amazing Spider-Man.
Counterpoint, or I'll let you rank.
Okay. Amazing Spider-Man, and then I would put Spider-Man 2, and then I would put Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 1, the first one. I would put I know like people love Spider-Man 2. I would put the original Spider-Man above it.
That kind of makes me think. I don't know. Okay, bottom for me, Amazing Spider-Man 2. Amazing Spider-Man right after that.
Okay.
Because the reason that I like Spider-Man 3 so much more than that is that do you actually get any enjoyment from watching The Amazing Spider-Man?
That's a good point. Yeah.
I get so much more enjoyment out of watching Spider-Man 3.
It's like a technically better film of The Amazing Spider-Man is, but it's not nearly as enjoyable or rewatchable as like Spider-Man 3.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think if I had the 3 DVDs right in front of me, I think I'd go Spider-Man 3.
I would. You know what? Absolutely. I agree with you.
Does that make it the best movie though?
Yeah.
Does that just rank it like?
No, I think so. I think absolutely because like
I think it makes it. I think it's a good ranking to be above Amazing Spider-Man.
Well, like you have to think about the intent of the films. Like, so if we were making the same analogy with like Schindler's List or something like that, if you gave someone a choice between a couple of movies, like they're gonna pick Spider-Man 3 over Schindler's List probably because it's just not a movie you want to watch over and over again, right? It's a sad, depressing movie.
Spider-Man.
I'm just saying the intention of the Amazing Spider-Man is to like entertain, be a fun, like light movie.
Right.
I would think, right? To be like it's
well, that's the intent of all of them. Though.
Yeah. Well, Spider-Man, the original, like the Tobey Maguire, the Sam Raimi Spider-Mans, like they are way more for kids. They've got some dark.
First one.
Yeah, I know they've got some dark stuff in there.
I would say that they got much darker than the Amazing Spider. The Amazing Spider-Man felt kind of more like it was for kids, outside of. Spoiler alert.
I would say tweens.
It was a little tweenish. Yeah. They had remember there was like weird, he was like playing dubstep with Electro pretty much by hitting Electro against things.
We were talking about how in the Tobey Maguire ones, like the villains actually act like villains.
Oh, yeah.
Like they're hammy and stuff like that.
Well, the larger topic that we touched on, though, was the reason that modern Marvel films don't have a good villain.
Right.
None of them are hammy.
That's right. None of them are exaggerated enough.
No.
Like they're all too realistic.
Absolutely. Well, they're trying to be like dark and, too realistic. But even the Batman villains were always pretty hammy, and that's why they're so memorable. Every Spider-Man, from the first 3 movies,
Marvel,
Super.
yeah. So yeah, Spider-Man's villain. Spider-Man has the best villain roster. Like he has them
Absolutely.
in the Marvel world. He like everyone knows Spider-Man's villains. Like, I don't think like no one can name like Iron Man's like villain, like canonical villains. Like I could because I read the comics when I was a kid, but even I didn't really. You like Iron Man, you like seeing him like suit up and everything, him come up with like new suits of armor and stuff like that, and all those stories. But you don't really care about the villains so much. And like when you're reading Iron Man comics, I didn't when I was a kid.
But if he had a cooler villain, wouldn't you like him that much more?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because Spider-Man every time had a cool one.
War Machine was my favorite.
I like War Machine.
Iron Man villain when I was a kid.
Is he a villain?
He would like they weren't villains; they were like more like rivals. So like War Machine would work for the government and stuff, and so Iron Man, and they've kind of hinted at going at this like in this direction in the movies, like in the Marvel movies. But like War Machine would like work for the government and would be kind of like a mercenary, like going off on like committing war crimes at times and stuff like that. But and of course Tony Stark is like this rogue, he's not going to get involved in that stuff like that. Whereas like Jim Rhodes is like his best friend, but he's also like in the army. He's kind of like a patriot, So yeah, that was like the only one I actually really liked.
I guess here's the biggest thing in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
You didn't finish ranking, by the way. You got to finish ranking your Spider-Man. You were at the Amazing Spider-Man.
See, it's so tough because with those three, I enjoy watching all three of them.
Yeah,
but for different reasons. I think Spider-Man 1 is like great origin story, really well put together.
Yeah.
And the action's not great. Action's best in Spider-Man 2. And Spider-Man 3 is just fun. Yeah. It's like way too much going on, and there's so many like laughable moments.
Which would you say is your top one? You know, skip to that.
If it wasn't for Sandman, I'd like Spider-Man 3 so much.
You're kidding. Yeah.
I was not a fan of Sandman.
No. I mean, I know, like, but I'm talking about your first choice, top of the pile, like, which is the best.
This is okay. I'm gonna go Spider-Man 2.
Okay.
I know that's the one that everyone kind of loves, but I do think it's really good.
Yeah, it is good.
But it's such a narrow margin between that and 1 and then 3.
Yeah.
It's really, really narrow.
All right. Yeah.
Because I can't say that 3 is the best, because I realize that it's also kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it's so fun to watch. Same with the first one. It's so many memorable lines.
Yeah.
You're the one that's out, Gabi. Out of your mind.
Yeah, fantastic. I love it. Yeah.
So much good stuff.
Yeah.
But with the Marvel Cinematic Universe,
can
you remember one line that any villain ever said?
Aside from the Spider-Man villains.
So we're talking
the new
Iron
ones,
Man to whatever we're on now.
You know what? I can. Tony Stark built this in a cave out of a bunch of scraps. I love that. I love Jeff Bridges as Obadiah Stane. He hams it up in that movie a little bit.
That's true. He was pretty good.
He's pretty good.
But he almost didn't get enough time to like really build up his, his happiness.
So what he's a pretty decent villain.
He's not too bad.
He's not super memorable as like a character villain though. Yeah. He's more of like a just kind of like he is what he is. He's a one-off
Well, and then we got Iron Man 2, which was
I do not remember.
It was Whiplash.
Yeah.
Actually, Mickey Rourke. Actually, I did pretty good because he was hammy.
Yeah, but I don't remember anything from him. I don't remember that villain very well.
I just remember. Oh, I remember it was from the trailer. He goes, "They will as soon as blood comes out, then the sharks start to swim, Mr. Stark." It was actually I think pretty like
sharks
fun.
are always swimming. It's not just when the blood comes out.
When the blood comes up, the sharks will stop statically sitting. They will begin moving for the first time since the last time.
That'd be a great line for a trailer. The clunkiest line of dialogue from the movie.
Well, I'd love to just be like have a really cool voice and be really intimidating, but keep losing track of where you're going with your like analogies.
Yeah.
Like, when the waffle iron has been going too long, Mr. Stark, then a small fire might start. If you didn't replace the batteries on your fire alarm. Okay, this is going too long.
Yeah, that's good.
Anyways, that's one memorable there. Thor, I don't even remember. It was Loki. Right?
I'm sorry, going back to your waffle iron thing though. If I actually was listening to that in a theater, I would really be on the edge of my seat, going, "Where is this going?"
I really want to know where he's going with this. Where's this end?
We were just talking about like the eccentric billionaire fantasy of mine, where you have $1 billion and like you just make prank movies and get wide distribution for them, and they're just prank movies, and it's like Dadaist humor, classic example would be I'd have like a rom-com. It's like a standard teen rom-com or something like that. And then halfway through, it's like it suddenly turns into like a robot apocalypse movie. Like the tone just drastically shifts. Maybe new main characters come in. It's like a completely different movie.
I would love that.
I would really love it for like it to be like really well crafted too. Like and
have at least like one big star.
Yeah, it's like a John Hughes movie, like for the first for the first 50 minutes,
right?
Really get you caring, and then rip it all away, and bring in Dolph Lundgren, like jumping out of a helicopter with a laser rifle.
Oh God, I would love that.
Yeah, it would be great. But no one's gonna take that risk.
Well, what if you could do this? How much money do you think it would take to give to like Star Wars and not to give to Star Wars, to give to Disney, to say if we give you this much money, can we have a 2-minute scene where they give Chewbacca a bath?
Everyone's got a price. That's the thing. Like Star Wars though is not a. Are you talking about product placement?
Not even product placement. Okay. Just hey,
how much do you think? Like
you could $1 billion. If we just have a 2-minute scene of Chewbacca just getting a bath.
I bet for $1 billion they would do it.
Really?
$1 billion.
Okay, for $1 billion, this is my girlfriend's
2-minute scene?
idea,
2-minute scene?
Okay, a minute.
Okay, a minute.
No, they would do for $1 billion. They would do
a bath, like, not a shower, a bath.
No, they're like hot. No, not hot. Like
are we talking about a sensual like scene?
No, they're just like
just a regular
and,
bath.
Like car wash is playing in the background.
Car wash.
Watch them.
All right, $2 billion. All right, $1 billion for the bath scene and $1 billion more for car wash, and we'll do it.
It's just $1 billion.
I actually think the car wash is like way more inane than the Chewie bath scene. If they play car wash, you were talking about absolutely ruining the franchise.
What about this though? How much do you think it would cost? This is my girlfriend's idea. I don't want to take it.
Yeah.
But just for one scene where like Leia and Chewie are alone, and because like everyone else leaves.
I don't like where this is going.
No. Everyone else leaves like the main area of the Millennium Falcon, and Chewie just turns to her and goes, "Nobody will ever believe you," and just walks away.
That's awesome.
Just in like a thick British accent, like no one will ever believe you.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
that would be great.
Yeah. How much do you think that would cost? 500,000.
Yeah.
I think $500,000.
No, it would take more than that. 500.
Oh no, $500,000. Oh, I forgot.
500.
They make that like every 30
seconds.
Yeah,
500 million maybe they would do something like that.
500 million for that? That's not bad.
I think you could do that. I think that would be like maybe
and just have who would do the voice? No, just have Ray Romano be the voice and just like
man,
no one will ever believe you. I don't know. That's not how he talks at all.
Great. This is like Fozzie Bear.
It is like Fozzie Bear. I imagine if Chewie had a human voice, he'd kind of sound like Fozzie Bear, right?
Like Pee Wee Herman, like
just like. Nobody will ever believe you.
That'd be great.
Thing. This has gone quite a ways from talking about how depression is linked to social media and how pessimism is linked to
without social media and the internet, we would not have the conversation we're having right now.
That's true.
I wouldn't
find people at home.
It's very possible that the fine people at home wouldn't even know who Dolph Lundgren is.
I
don't. The internet.
Rocky IV.
That's it though. That's all he got.
He was in something else, right? Wasn't he the new Punisher for a bit or something?
Oh my God! Wow, that's really
no. He played the Punisher.
He played the Punisher in like this 1980s version, like that nobody knows about. Good? I've seen it, and no, it's not good.
And no,
Dolph Lundgren barely speaks the whole movie because acting. Like
he's a good actor. He just doesn't talk.
Stares vacantly. He looks like Ryan Gosling in that new Blade Runner movie.
But he's so good at what he does.
Yeah,
at just staring blankly. That's why he was the best part of Rocky IV.
Right.
Well, the robot.
Rocky IV has better villains than the Marvel Universe.
That's true.
Rocky IV's villains are great.
Between Rocky 3 and 4, because Clubber Lang.
Wow, all that is really the secret to good villainy right there. Hamminess. You have to have every single one of Rocky's villains is hammy.
Apollo definitely was.
Apollo's super hammy.
What about Tommy Gunn?
I would say Tommy Gunn, not the real villain. Don King, I would say, is the real villain.
Well,
he's super
they
hammy.
couldn't call him Don King. What was his name? It was like John.
So you have to read into the subtext of Rocky V to.
Oh, I forgot. I'm sorry.
Right.
And I never saw Rocky 6. Or
is that what they're calling it? Rocky Balboa? Yeah, that's true.
Or
See,
and I never saw
that movie doesn't have a good villain because there's
really?
he's not hammy, he's not fun. No,
it was
he's not
supposed to be like
memorable.
a final go.
Yeah,
right?
it's really more of like Rocky versus
aging.
Yeah, Rocky
the aging
versus
process.
Yeah, aging.
I did see just part
Rocky
of it.
7, Metamucil.
Rocky 7. No solid foods for a week.
No solid foods. Yeah.
I did see just part of it, and it's one of those weird like sequels where just everyone he knows is dead or like depressed, and I guess Rocky 5 was kind of like that too.
Yeah.
And with Rocky 6, I remember just like I think Paulie was gone, Adrian had passed away, like it was just him and his son who doesn't like him. It was just so sad.
Yeah.
Nobody does well in the future. Like that have you seen that Spider-Man comic? We're gonna loop it back around, where it's 50 years.
Spider-Man Reign.
Is that the one?
Yes.
Where like the skeleton of Doc Ock fights him.
Yep.
Because I remember reading about that, and it sounded extremely.
Yeah, it was supposed to be kind of like a Dark Knight Returns ripoff. I read it, and it's actually got some cool moments.
Really?
It's not a great comic overall, but it's got some cool moments.
Right.
I think that the idea of him poisoning like Mary Jane with his radioactive spider juice.
Okay, that's very artfully put.
Like a little.
This is real, people. We're not. This
is a real thing. It's beyond dark. Like, I mean, that is not a comic for kids. And he does he kills. I think all of his because I think the Sinister Six, sans Doc Ock return, and he kills like all of them. Like he's like, I'm done. We're about to die anyway. You're all gonna die.
Really?
I'm done with my morals. Basically doing you a favor, you know.
Wow.
Electro, you're gonna be on dialysis in a week. Like I might as well.
So he just killed them all.
Totally, just kills them all.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're fighting, but he he's not like I'm gonna web you up and you're gonna hang for the police or something like that. No, he's like, all right,
Well, I never thought of that as being a thing for Spider-Man, not killing people.
Yeah, but it is.
Because the villains always die in his movies, when you think about it. The only villain not to die was Sandman.
In the movies, yeah, but in the comics, he never kills anybody, really.
Well, yeah. Gotta keep making those comics.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. I love that part in this first Spider-Man. We'll meet again! Spider-Man, he actually does it. Like, it's so great.
That's so good. What is the best line of Spider-Man 1?
Oh, man. It's like... It's such a strange choice, but that moment where, it's a great scene overall, where the Green Goblin comes into the Daily Planet, smashes through, and then you get a little insight into J. Jonah Jameson's character, because J. Jonah Jameson, despite being threatened, by Green Goblin, will not give up the name of the photographer who took the pictures of Spider-Man.
The one who took the pictures of Spider-Man.
Yeah, these things come in the mail or whatever. He's just great.
That's true. I never thought about that.
Yeah, it's a redemptive moment for J. Jonah Jameson. You're like, there's more to this character than he's and that's true in the comic too, because he's like, I think his backstory is he's like a seedy editor dude or whatever, that type, who's trying to make a buck or whatever, and he personally, I think his wife or something like that. Someone in his family is killed by a masked man, and so he has this hatred for masked people. He just has a phobia or something like that. Just this hatred for people who wear masks.
Wait a second, this is The Fugitive, right?
What?
Wasn't he a masked man?
Oh, it was a one-armed man.
He was probably wearing a mask though, right?
Well, I think when you only have one arm.
Okay. All right, let's not go down that road.
What? I'm just saying, kind of it. Really, isn't that the whole point of the movie, that him having one arm is like the thing that allows the police to find him, you know, or like not allows Harrison Ford to find
I don't
him.
remember the ending. I just remember him jumping off the thing.
That guy, that movie's got a great hammy villain too. Chicken Coop, like Household, Barn House, blah blah blah. Tommy Lee Jones is the villain in that movie.
Oh, you're right.
I mean, kind of the villain, I guess, the antagonist.
Yeah.
But you know, like he hams it up.
Yeah.
I think hammy villain and dude, how many like I think a lot of these superhero movies are missing out on that. They're trying to make these villains too realistic. We were talking about people always cite the Christopher Nolan movies as being these paragons of realistic, like gritty superhero movies, but the villains are so hammy.
Oh yeah,
they're great. They're super hammy. They're super exaggerated. Mm-hmm. They're very comic booky. The Joker has all these really like, although very like smart lines, like they're very over dramatic. Like, you know, Bane is also like really like histrionic in the delivery of his lines. Like Scarecrow also,
same
yeah.
Kind of thing. Even Ra's al Ghul.
Ra's al Ghul. There's the phone.
I guess that is the main problem. And also, I did not get to see. We're going to wrap up here soon.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite line is when he's in that fire and he's going up because he thinks it's a little old lady wrapped in a blanket.
Oh yeah.
And Green Goblin turns around and goes, "Surprise!" And then proceeds.
He doesn't go
shoot.
surprise. He doesn't
say
surprise. He just screams and kicks him.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah. He screams and kicks him, and then
No, but then is the very best one. He shoots gas out of his.
Oh yeah,
like,
that's
hand
in that
and
scene.
Just goes, sleep.
I was actually going to say I didn't get to finish, but that is my favorite. That was my favorite moment.
Oh, that was yours?
Yeah, that happens at the Daily Bugle. So he crashes in, and Spider-Man comes down. He's like, "Not today," or something like that, and then he's like, "Sleep." And it's like, dude, like Spider-Man, you kind of suck, dude. Like that's it for you.
You're not very good at
Green
this.
Goblin, like it is like his first encounter, I guess, really with like a supervillain, really.
Right.
But like, yeah, he. Just immediately downed by the Green Goblin.
I just like that he's narrating. Sleep.
He cackles a lot. I love that about him. Like, yeah, it's great.
Oh,
Willem Dafoe is so good in that movie. My favorite, that's a great moment in the movie too, when he goes up to the mirror and he has like, imagine if he joined us, and he has that really weird cackle and smile thing. It's almost like the Grinch, you know, where it's like it's like such an exaggerated, ridiculous smile. You can't help but love it.
Or when the mask is sitting in that chair, he goes, "How do we defeat him?" The heart, Norman. You must get his heart.
That was so great. What's your favorite Spider-Man moment?
Well, here's my thing.
Yeah.
I keep saying that thing. Here's my thing.
Yeah.
It's going to be the name of my mini segment in this podcast.
Yeah.
I think we should guess how well it's going to do compared to the other movies.
I'm going to say better than the Amazing Spider-Mans, but there's not going to be the risk taken to make it better. I'm actually going to put it. See, you've actually been a very good advocate for Spider-Man 3. And I'm going to say it's not going to have the character, or it's not going to take the risks. It's not going to be as silly, or as like organically silly too. It's like where you feel like, oh, this is really originally silly, and strange, like as the Sam Raimi trilogy. So I think it's going to be an in between, like solid movie, like well done. But I think all the jokes are going to feel like calculated and like a boardroom of very talented writers like engineered this movie rather than it being just written and like a shot in the dark kind of thing.
I think it's not going to do well as Spider-Man 3 because I think people are sick of Spider-Man overall. I think they've had so much Spider-Man over the past, in the past 4 years, we've only had 1 year without a movie featuring Spider-Man.
I don't know, man. Like you said in your article, $1 billion of merchandising.
Merchandising, yes. The movie itself, I don't think as many people
can't be sick of Spider-Man if they're buying all the merchandise.
I just think they might be sick of seeing him on screen. Well, you can wear a Spider-Man T-shirt without sitting in a movie for 2 hours, though. Yeah,
but if you're sick of the character, you're not going to wear the Spider-Man T-shirt.
I think they're just sick of him on film.
Okay.
I've heard people say, because when I'll be like, "Oh, you're going to see the new Spider-Man."
Yeah.
They're like, another one.
Yeah, that's true. I've gotten that. Yeah, I've heard that too. People aren't like yeah, that's true. Because even I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. I grew up with the thing, but like I'm not super excited that one's coming out today. I'm kind of like, another Spider-Man movie. I'll see
Maybe
it
on Redbox, or I don't know.
I'll probably watch it in theaters
Really?
like here in the next maybe like when it calms down over there, maybe in a couple of weeks.
Michael Keaton, I think, is the deciding factor on that.
Love Michael Keaton.
I am excited for that.
Yeah. Everyone likes Michael Keaton. It's great that he's experienced like a renaissance in his career.
Yeah, I'm glad for him.
Yeah, that's good.
I hope he's okay.
Yeah, he's still
Michael
fine.
Keaton, if you're listening, hope you're doing all right, buddy.
Sorry about that white noise thing. Sorry nobody saw that movie.
Oh, I'm sorry I didn't see it more times.
That was in that weird like
Wait, no, that was Kiefer Sutherland.
What? No. That's Michael Keaton. No, you're not looking. Oh, it's Michael
I'd like
Keaton.
to look it up.
All right, we'll look it up.
Okay, that's our big
next time.
cliffhanger for next
Was Michael
week.
Keaton the star of White Noise?
Or was it Mr. Kiefer Sutherland? Only you can find out.
Because we're too lazy to do it.
Exactly.
No.
Well, we'll see you next week with another...
Make sure to like and subscribe.
Actually, yes, could you?
Like and subscribe. And what's your favorite Spider-Man moment? Leave your answer in the comments below.
Green Goblin moment.
Green Goblin moment from the original Spider. That's actually a good question.
Yes.
I think everyone
list your
has
very
one of those.
favorite moments.
All right. Okay.
And we'll look at it for a second.
We probably won't.
Okay.
We'll mention it maybe in the next one because people do that.
Nah.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
Bye.